they can get what they desire in 2008. We need to understand that good things don't just happen. You've got to put yourself in a position so that good things will happen to you.
That's right.
If what you wanted to happen in 2007, when 2007 came in, has not yet happened as it's going out, maybe you were just dreaming about what you wanted without doing anything to make it happen. Maybe you were just hoping that your dream would come true without you working in the present to make it come to pass. Maybe you were just hoping for pie in the sky. As we approach the new year, we have a tendency to make plans. We have an affinity to have hopes. We have a propensity to anticipate blessings that we want to come into our lives. But too often we make plans without laying the proper foundation or making adequate preparations for the fulfillment of those plans. Just to make plans is not enough. You got to figure out how you're going to accomplish those plans. And then you've got to work to make them come to pass. Jesus helped us in this area by letting us know that we cannot live in the future, but we must plan for the future. And the way that we must do this is by not worrying about the future. In fact, he even says, don't worry about your life, what you're going to eat or drink, or your body, what you will wear. And he says that the pagans, the people who don't know the Lord, worry about these things. He says, look at the birds. They don't sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet God feeds them. And he uses this illustration to ask you a very poignant question. Aren't you more valuable than birds? And he went on to say, look at the lilies of the field. They don't labor. They don't spin. Not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, will he not much more clothe you? And here's the kicker. He says that God already knows what you have need of. And I want you to know, he's the one who knows your needs, and he's the one who will provide all your needs. He's the Father who loves to bless his children with good things. He's the one who will put shoes on your feet. He's the one who will put clothes on your back. He's the one who will put food on your table. He'll give you money to pay your bills. He'll provide all the things that you need and many of the things that you desire. He'll even open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you shall not have room enough to receive. And when we know that we serve a God who can do all these things, we don't have to worry about the future. We can make plans for the future while we're living in the present. You know the mistake that we make. We don't live in the present because we don't like where we are right now. So we hope for the future and dream about what we want to come in the future. And then instead of leaning and depending on God and living an effective life in the present, we move into that dream world of the future and fool ourselves into living like we're already there without doing anything to get there. And so we run up our credit card bills, living beyond our means. We buy houses that we can't pay for, and cars that we can't afford, and clothes that are 2 classes above our income. And we're trying to look good on the outside, giving a false impression on the outside, while experiencing anguish and turmoil on the inside. We're hoping for a better day in the future, but constantly digging a deeper hole towards our own financial future. We're hoping for a better future, but but we're setting ourselves up for disaster on down the road. But Jesus is telling us this morning, don't you go there. He said, don't you worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Jesus said, don't you worry about tomorrow. Don't you go there. Deal with today, and deal with tomorrow. Now, let me see if I can help you with this issue of worry. One commentator said, worry is not to be confused with thinking and planning to meet future needs. Worry is not to be confused with genuine concern. Rather, worry is the preoccupation and dissipation of our mental and physical powers with things that are future, hypothetical, and beyond our control. Worry is the antithesis of faith. Faith perceives potential problems with a view to the infinite power and fatherly concern of a God who has saved us. Worry only sees the obstacles and meditates on all the possible disastrous possibilities while neglecting the fact of God's divine care and control in our lives. Worry is both foolish and faithless. In other words, if you're going to worry, why have faith in God? And if you're going to have faith in God, why worry? So even when it comes to you worrying about the future, Jesus is saying, don't you go there. Jay Adams tells the story of a man named Joe who was always worrying. Every time you saw him, he looked depressed and dejected, and he looked like he carried the weight of the world on his shoulders. One day, they saw Joe coming. He had a smile on his face, and his spirits were high, and he was the picture of optimism, and everybody could see what a different Joe he was. And his good friend Bill went up to him and asked him, what happened to you, Joe? Joe said, you know, I used to worry a lot. I used to worry too much. I worry about everything. But I finally decided to give up worrying completely. Then Bill asked him, how in the world are you going to do that, Joe? Joe said, I hired somebody to do my worrying for me. I don't have to worry because I'm paying somebody else to do my worrying for me. Bill said, how much you paying this guy, Joe? Joe said, oh, about $1,000 a week. Bill's mouth flew wide open, and he asked Joe, how in the world can you afford to pay him that much? Joe looked at Bill with a smile, and he laughed, and he said, I can't worry about that. That's what I'm paying him for. That's his worry. Joe learned something that Jesus is trying to teach us as 2007 is coming to an end. When it comes to worrying about the future, don't you go there. There are two major areas of defeat in most Christians' life. The first is living in the past, reliving the past, being stuck in the good old days, being so consumed by what used to be that you can't live an anointed, consecrated, the Holy Ghost-filled, Spirit-led life in the present. And the second is having an unwarranted preoccupation with the future, being consumed by what might happen, what could occur, worrying about tomorrow and not living for today. Jesus warns us that we need to live one day at a time. What did God tell Moses his name was at the burning bush? He didn't say that his name is I was. All right now. And he didn't say that his name was I shall be. He said that his name is I am. That means he's a God who's right there. And I want you to know that he's a right now God. He's a God who's there right now. He's an omnipresent God. He's always around. He's a ubiquitous God. He's always there. He's an ever-present God. He's always by your side. When you're going through the dark night of your soul, he's there. When you're on the mountaintop, he's there with you. When your friends turn their backs on you, he's still there. When you're lying on your find yourself walking through the valley of the shadow of death, you don't have to fear